Hello, I've been testing Samsung's expensively premium new Galaxy S21 Ultra smartphone. Now, it's been widely reported that sales of its predecessor, the S20 Ultra, have been rather disappointing for Samsung. So it's not surprising that this model comes with a slightly reduced launch price and also an increased specification. Now, here in Europe it comes with the latest 5nm Exynos 2100 chip that helps the phone achieve some of the highest benchmark scores of any Android phone yet, although it's still some way behind the scores achieved by iPhones using Apple's A14 Bionic chip. The AMOLED 6.8-inch screen now has a maximum brightness level of no less than 1500 nits on HDR footage, which is pretty good, and it's also got an impressive 3200 by 1440 resolution. The result is a very, very satisfactory viewing experience, and also it's 120Hz refresh rate is now supported at full resolution, and in order to improve the battery life, which was a bit of a problem on the S20 Ultra, they've got an adaptive refresh rate which varies from as little as 10Hz right up to 120Hz depending upon what you're doing, and I certainly found that helped with the battery life. I could confidently get a full day's fairly intensive use out of the phone without worrying about recharging. It's got Gorilla Glass front and back and is available in several finishes, including this rather distinctive matte black. The styling's more charismatic, particularly of the camera module, which is slightly larger. The overall phone actually is a little bit heavier at a not inconsiderable nearly 230 grams. The camera module has also been restyled and improved. The 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera now has autofocus, and it also doubles as a macro camera. The main 24mm wide camera has a new sensor but has retained its staggering 108 megapixels of resolution, and I found the image quality considerably improved compared to Samsung's of old with their oversaturated colours and artificial sharpness. I found it gave results more or less on a par with Apple's iPhone 12 Pro Max, albeit possibly slightly less realistic colours and slightly less good handling of certain surfaces, but a very good performance indeed. The night mode has also been improved, although I don't think it reaches the level of the iPhone 12's night mode quite yet. One area where this camera module really moves ahead of the iPhone is in terms of its long lens capabilities. There are now not one, but two of them. There's a x3 70mm equivalent there. There's a 10 times 240mm equivalent camera there, and it can achieve really quite good results. You get 10 times optical zoom, which really does get you usefully close to things. Now, it's not perfect. Both camera modules are only 10 megapixels of resolution, and when you pixel peep you can see reticulations and noise in the pictures, but it's not really apparent at normal screen viewing level. And obviously the focal lengths between the x3 and the x10 are filled in by a digital zoom, so if you're operating at, say, x8, you can get really quite fuzzy pictures. But overall, it's probably the most versatile stills camera setup you'll find on a phone today. I found video performance less impressive. It was good in bright light, as here during a recent Gadget show shoot at the Black Country Museum in the Midlands, but once I got inside, here's Georgie on another shoot at the National Computer Museum at Bletchley, it all got a bit blotchy, a bit smudgy, and rather poorly defined, and I was frankly rather disappointed. The other big spec news is that the phone now has S Pen support. A pen isn't included in the price, it's an optional extra. I tested it with this also optional and rather unattractive, it has to be said, silicone case, although it did work well, as does the pen if you're doing a bit of scribbling. Now, at the moment it's a fairly basic pen. There is an S Pen Pro that adds Bluetooth support coming for the phone later this year. Now for those specification caveats, well, there's no longer a charger in the box, which I don't think actually will worry many people. There's also a slightly slower charging speed, which I don't think is a problem either. Personally, I didn't find the audio quality that good. The volume from the speakers is good, but the sound gets a bit harsh at higher volumes. Again, not a major worry. I think the thing that will worry people, though, is that there's no longer a micro SD card slot, so you can't expand your own storage. Instead, you need to think carefully about how much you need when you buy the phone. It's available as 128, 256 or 512 gigabytes versions. Clearly that's more expensive than buying a card and less flexible. Overall, it's a bit tricky to judge whether the S21 Ultra is really worth the money. If you primarily shoot stills, or if you're after the ultimate screen quality, you'll probably find it worth the money. If on the other hand you shoot a lot of video, you might well feel shortchanged.